Shopify helps businesses break sales records over the holidays with the world's best converting checkout. Let's hear that one more time. The world's best converting checkout. Shopify's legendary checkout makes it easier for customers to shop on your website, across social media, and everywhere in between. Now that's music to your ears. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify. Start your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/records.
Breast milk science. It's a thing, and it's our thing. We're ByHeart. We're an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins found in breast milk. We're the first and only U.S.-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We make our formula in our own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, using a small batch manufacturing process that works to preserve the integrity of our ingredients. We ran the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in 25 years, and clinically proved benefits like easier digestion, less gas, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. We were the first infant formula company to earn the Clean Label Project Purity Award. And while we've put a lot into ByHeart, there's a long list of things you won't see on our ingredient list, like no corn syrup, no maltodextrin, no GMO ingredients, no soy, no palm oil. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tyler with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and I got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole podcast for you. This past weekend, the NFCA convention wrapped up down in San Antonio, Texas. This event is where college coaches, travel coaches, high school coaches, a lot of people involved with the game of softball kind of comes together and talk about different changes, talk about different things, talk about the sport in general, what's good, what's bad, what can change, just, bring everybody together as far as fast pitch is concerned. And during those meetings and during the convention, there was a Division I caucus where a change had kind of been proposed, and it dealt with Division I and recruiting. And the proposal was to just go ahead and do away with all fall recruiting, meaning college coaches no longer going out during that 6-week window in the fall to the showcases and to the tournaments. To sort of wrap up their 22 or their end of the year recruiting calendar, not just 22, but moving forward. So what does that mean exactly? Not only for Division I, but for D2 and D3 and beyond. Well, the direct impact is just for Division I, meaning the coaches, they won't be going off campus to do their recruiting. They can still do their camps and clinics and stuff like that and get the eyes on that they need for their future prospects for the next couple of years. The impact that it'll have on D2 and D3 is these showcase events that different organizations or tournament directors or whatever are putting on. They're not going to have that draw for D1. And unfortunately, just the way that it is with these showcases, people are looking at the highest level, if you will, of coaches that are going to be there. Coaches are trying to get their most bang for their buck because, let's face it, it is an expensive sport. It's put on a lot of different expensive events. So just from the coaching perspective, if you're looking at a showcase and maybe you only go to 1 or 2 a year, or you're looking for a big end of the year event, sort of wrap up your season, and you want it to be a showcase, you're going to go to a showcase that has more coaches, 20, 30, 40 coaches that are going to be at this event. And they're doing combines there too. So they want to get as much exposure as they can for their athletes. Well, are you going to go to a camp or a showcase that has 0 Division I schools there? Or are you going to go to one that has a lot of Division I schools there? So there's 2 sides of the argument, really. And from the D1 side, it makes all the sense in the world for them to just do away with the fall recruiting, not having to be out there on the trail. What they can do is they can put on, 6 different weekends of camps, or they can do 2 or 3 where they can bring in their athletes. that they want to look at and offer different packages and offer different things for them. You can get them on campus. They can go to football games. They can be in the atmosphere. There's a lot of different things that they could do that could be good for them to get athletes out there. On the Division II, Division III side, JUCO, NAIA, whether the athlete is wanting to go D1 or has a talent to go D1, but they decide to go somewhere else or whatever. From that perspective, it's like the rich get richer and the poor get poor. And what I mean by that is some of these Division II, Division III schools will leverage having some D1 experience out there, or some D1 coaches that are out there, knowing that not every athlete here has a spot on a D1 roster or has the skills or the talent to make a D1 roster. But they wanted to go there because there is that shot at getting selected or getting picked up or getting contacted by D1. So they'll leverage that name, say, hey, these 4 or 5 D1 schools are coming, as well as these, 5 or 6 D2, these 5 or 6 D3. So they all kind of come together. It makes more people want to go there. So these D2 and D3 coaches get the opportunity to look at athletes, not having to put on a camp. And to be honest, let's face it, if you had $400 to go to a camp and you could go to any of the big Power 5 schools, or you had the same $400 to go to a D2 or D3 school for a camp, I have to believe that most athletes, most parents are going to send their kids to the Power 5 camps just because the experience, just the name alone, saying that you went to school A for a camp versus going to school B for a camp. It's just how it is. It's our society. It's just how it is. Is it right? No. But it is what it is. It's the world we live in. So, with that being said, you have D2 and D3 college coaches that are wanting to get out and go to these events that have certain student athletes there. Those same events will still be there for D2 and D3 in the future if D1 does away with the fall recruiting aspect. But you'll have some teams that won't go to those showcase events. They're going to go to team camps instead of. So it's going to be a little bit harder for the D2, D3 schools to continue recruiting the way they have. So they're going to have to come up with different ways. They're going to have to come up with different things if this goes through. It's not going to happen anytime soon. That there's going to be a change that comes down. Of course, it's an NCAA issue. It's an NCAA thing. But, there's different sides to the argument. If you're not following or subscribed to or reading to Extra Inning Softball, they did a great piece earlier this week on, the most controversial topic. And they break it down from both sides. Brent Eads and Justin McLeod were there. And they kind of broke down sort of the argument from both sides of it. And, is there a clear-cut, right or wrong? No, definitely not with this issue. It can hurt some folks and it can help some folks. It's kind of right in the middle of the pack. It's almost like political at this point if you get to it. But, from one side of it, the travel ball and the event production side of it, some non-Power 5 conferences or top club events that run through September and December would lose their key advantage of having their college coaches come out there and watch teams and players. So instead of coming out here and watching that competition, they'll just run a camp and they can evaluate their talent there. And that hurts the other schools that may be there that don't have the time or the funds or the whatever to be able to run a camp that same weekend. And then you're kind of splitting up the talent. You got somebody going to Duke, Clemson, you got somebody going to Virginia Tech, Virginia, Florida State. You got, all these schools that are running camps at the same time. That, all that talent is kind of split up. So, parents are trying to get their athletes in front of as many college coaches as they can. Well, if these D1 schools aren't going to be at these tournaments, they're going to be on campus. I don't have all this money to go to this camp this weekend, this camp next weekend, this camp the following weekend. It just doesn't happen. On the big scale for a lot of people. On the flip side of it, it takes a lot of money to put these camps and stuff on. So it costs the participants, the campers, a lot of money. And that money is going straight in directly to one school. So it's almost like the rich get richer. Cutting back the opportunities for these athletes to play high level competition and be seen is one aspect of it. But you've got 2 months in the fall, 1.5 months in the fall, where it could be nothing but college camps. And I go back to the point of splitting the talent up. If you go back and you look at the summer months where colleges are out there, there's different tournaments. You got Colorado, you got Georgia, you got them in California, you got them in Texas, you got them up and down the East Coast, you got them in Florida. These organizations and these teams are sending out their schedules to their colleges, to the college coaches and saying, hey, we're going to be here this weekend, we're going to be here the following weekend, and then the weekend after that, we're going to be here at this one. So the colleges, they have to figure out where they're going to go. They don't want to do that in the fall as well. So they do it in the summer. They don't want to do it in the fall. In the fall, they want to run their own stuff, their own controlled, be able to see their athletes. There's good and bad with it. I see the side. I see the point of the Power 5 or the Division I coaches that say, hey, let's do away with it. Let's get back on campus and run our camps. I understand that. And I also see the other side of it where it's like, well, what's the point of doing any events, these showcase level events, or calling them showcase level, if the consensus cream of the crop, if you will, isn't going to be around? What's the point of us going? We can run our own camps, but are we going to get the athletes? Are we going to get that same caliber of athletes? The thing that's surprising to me, that numerous Division I school coaches, they're in favor of the change. They're seeing that there's a huge positive for being at home more, saying that we can get to know our athletes a little bit better, go through the recruiting process a little bit more stricter, instead of having so many athletes in one spot at one time and all the confusion, and then all these coaches that are clamoring for the exact same athlete. They don't get their one-on-one time, or they kind of get pushed to the side. So I see the D1 side of it, and I also see the lower side of it. So it's just my 2 cents on it. Just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention if you hadn't heard, that it's not in stone. It's not something that's happening. It's not something that's really gone past, other than the coaches talking about it. NCAA hasn't said anything about it, but it's something that could be happening in the future. Getting rid of the fall recruiting window, if you will. And it would be interesting to see if they would open it up a little bit longer in the summer. What does that do to showcase ball, travel ball in the summer months? Because we all know in the summer, you're talking just like a 6-8 week window of tournament after tournament after tournament, where kids aren't home for 2 months. And the money that's involved with that, the travel that's involved with that, injuries that go with that. Could you add a week on the front end and add 2 weeks on the back end? Go through, add 3 weeks to the summer and take away the 6 in the fall. There's a lot of different options that I'm sure that they're looking at. I'm not the only one that has thought about opening up the summer, but there's a lot of different things that have to go into it. I'm sure it'll come down to a vote. NCAA will get involved and figure out, what's the best for for the majority. It's not going to be the best for everyone because everybody has a different opinion. So, I'm sure at some point within the next couple of years, some change will happen. But that remains to be seen. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a lot of fun getting on here, getting this word out there to you guys, different topics, different things going on. So, if you don't mind, share this with a friend. And when you do, you tell them you love them.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.